Let's arrange that. So
listen to the people, listen to humanity, listen to the parrot, Parrot TV, Parrot TV, Parrot TV, Parrot TV, Parrot TV, Parrot. Listen to the people, listen to humanity, listen to the parrot, Parrot TV.
are you curious about financial literacy? Then take a look at Professor Anthony Rivecchio's new program on Parrot TV. It's called Financial Focus University. This is an excellent program to learn about questions related to your own finances post-COVID, and how you can manage your money, how you can work with your tax situation. And this is an excellent and informative discussion of financial literacy. With Professor Anthony Rivecchio, your financial problems will be solved at Parrot TV with Financial Focus University. Hello, welcome to Parrot TV's World Inkers Network, and I'm Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host. Welcome to the show, Sankha Sen. He is a writer, musician, executive, and a visionary, ambassador of New York Parrot, and author in Literary Parrot Series 1 and 2. He has participated in Panorama International Literary Festival and has been awarded for his participation multiple times. His books had a grand launch in Kolkata International Book Fair. Lately, he has been doing many live shows in different virtual platforms in India, Australia, and the USA. He has already done multiple shows in Germany, Switzerland, Japan, India, and has performed on TV and radio and musical studios. His prose took place in Hunger Anthology. His literary works have been published in Germany and in the US. His autobiography and book review has been published in an online newspaper in India. We can find him in German newspapers too. So art and literature are his hobbies, as he is an engineer from a renowned university in India and did his master's from a well-known university in Germany and has been an academically good student from childhood. So we can see Sankha Sen being a multi-talented person, and he's a visionary with a lot of potential, a true inspiration for humanity. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Sankha, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, how have you been doing?
Doing great, actually. I'm glad we've got the show going again, and this is a good time to remind people that we're going to do the third series of the Literary Parrot pretty soon, so everybody can be tuned for that. So tell me, what was your thoughts on this wonderful anthology, this Hunger Anthology that we just released, Transcendent Zero Press? This beautiful book. I think it's one of our most beautiful covers that we've done. So what are your thoughts on the material you've read in there?
So I also have got a copy of this. Let me show it to the guest. I think if you have seen in my Facebook posts, I had just recently done kind of a Facebook live show with German well-known faces here in Germany, and I presented this book as well. And astoundingly, that the response were really very good. I mean, the topic hunger is actually a global topic, and there were people, although they're born and brought up in Europe, but they have some connections to different parts of different parts of the globe, and they also know the importance of hunger. And I mean, this has really given a real good advertisement to the people, and the cover of the book is really magnificent. And I told them that I have written a prose on this, in which I have actually kind of explained the different causes of hunger, what really causes hunger, and what could be really done to come out of this, and how worse can it be, and how the global people are really joining to kind of come out of this problem. I mean, we don't want children or any other old people or any other people to really go through this malnutrition phase, and because it's really very sad for people to see, and also we don't want it also to come to our families, to our friends at all. We don't want to hear this. It's such a like a dangerous kind of situation. So we also don't want that any person, even though we don't know him, sitting across the globe, also goes through this phase of hunger. And like I would like to kind of extend my humanitarian hands in offering any kind of help, may it be literature work or music or any other art and culture activities, to provide some peace and happiness for people going through this. And this part actually has come up really well in Germany as well, to the in the show that I mean, in the current phase through which we are going, like we have Corona issues, we have these war issues, and I'm definitely sure that people who have never really planned for such kind of situations have really quickly come up into a situation where they don't have any food, they don't have clothes, don't have their homes, so they have kind of quickly slipped into a level of poverty. So I would really like to extend my hands of humanitarian efforts, like also with the help of World Inkers Network, with the New York Parrot, to our like interviews, to our literature and artwork which we're doing, to provide them some kind of peace and happiness, and also provide the mental strength to come out of this phase, and also come back to our good old past, where we were really in a peaceful situation. And I hope this phase really goes out. And as I said, that the book really attracted a lot of audience in Germany, as I did a live show, like in a lake, if you have seen the photos.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I have also kind of discussed about this in different other platforms in which I had, like in Australia, Sydney. They also kind of invited me, so they also have kind of known about you, about New York Parrot, and also this hunger anthologies which I've actually published. So um, this is kind of a very important issue where I think the whole world is really thinking about, and it really attracted a lot of audience attention. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm glad you're, helping promote the book and get the word out there. And, as I said, what we do it with Transcend Zero Press, like I've done several concept books. So we did one for love. We did one for, for selfhood as well. Our first anthology was selfhood, varieties of experience. And what I like to do is explore concepts and ideas and use language as a tool for that. And so like what I did with this book, hunger. The cover is done by Suburi Shinde in India. I believe what I try to do is explore the concept of hunger, like what the idea means to people in their minds. And a lot of people wrote about desire and lack of fulfillment, or hunger, like as in seeing something immense and beautiful, and hungering for beauty. There was a lot of different responses to hunger, the idea of what the word could mean potentially. And I quoted a quote from Pablo Neruda at the top here. Hunger, quarrel of mankind. Hunger, secret plant. Woodcutter's stump. Hunger, did the edge of your reef rise up to these high suspended towers? And that's from the heights of Machu Picchu, which I thought was a really interesting quote, because it's very ambiguous. It doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
say, like it's not talking strictly about. It feels like what it's talking about is a hunger for, anything from industry to the immense beauty that you see, and you hunger for that, and that fills you with a desire. And it's very ambiguous. So I thought that was a good quote to use to sort of introduce the volume and give a little bit of a take on and what this means, what this word means. So it's not necessarily about malnourishment or anything of that nature. Some of the poems have more conceptualized.
hmm,
So I don't know if you notice that, like a lot of the work is also prose, which I believe you
yeah,
contributed
yeah,
an
yeah.
essay. So that was something we did. We definitely wanted to embrace a lot of potential ideas,
Yeah.
and we did. I think we did a pretty good job. What do you think? Was it a successful book in your opinion?
Let's see. I mean, one thing, even though we kind of tell it's really a good book and all, I think it come out also in paper and like in Amazon, we can see the 5-star rating,
Hmm.
which means a lot. I mean, even though we speak, you speak, or anyone else speak, okay, it's a great book and all, but when actually it comes into an website in Amazon, a 5-star rating, which really means a lot. I mean, I think that speaks for it. Like
Absolutely.
it's not easy to get a 5-star rating, and since it has really got, I think we should be proud of it that we are part of this. And you also, being the editor of this book, I think uh, we are just not promoting like this book. It's like a concept and also a topic which I think the whole world should kind of join hands and try to eradicate this problem throughout the world. And I hope you must have seen my heading of my prose.
Hmm.
It's called Hunger Served on a Dish. So the main idea which I really try to bring out is like um, we kind of decorate a lot of things and kind of hide the real problem inside. I mean,
Hmm.
if you travel countries, if you travel geographies, you might have seen, oh, there are some pockets which is like devastating, and there are some pockets which is like polished and colorful. And normally, for an outsider, uh, or the country, or let's say some nations, they try to portray those polished areas to the outside world that, oh, we are great, we are doing really super and all. But there are some pockets in every country, however rich a country is, which actually is not advertised or which is not really put forward. So try to see that, okay, even though you get a plate of beautiful food, uh, what happens if you really serve someone with a lot of delicacies, with a lot of kind of politeness, like if you go to an expensive restaurant and you order a French dish, very expensive cuisine, they will come, they will kind of serve you in a really typical European manner. But what happens if there is still hunger served on your plate? So, which the idea is really, it speaks for itself that don't just kind of polish your situation and hide this hunger as if it's something which you don't want to show to the outside world. Be transparent and show that, okay, we are in this problem. We might be very rich nations, or we might be a very rich kind of a community or family, but there are some pockets where people are really undergoing this kind of problems. And come
Hmm.
forward, be transparent, try to join hands and kind of try to see those hunger pockets in our community, in our nations, are really eradicated. So I try to kind of bring this message to the humanity that don't just kind of with all your glare and with all your polishness, don't just hide this basic problem, which I think everyone or every part of the globe has to some extent.
Here in the USA, I know a lot of metropolitan areas have had laws preventing people from feeding the homeless, and I thought that's absurd. That's ridiculous, and they don't seem to have much of a rationale behind it. Like I've know, like here in Houston, for instance,
Yeah,
they asked the mayor some years ago, like, why is there's this law, and they're like, oh, well, we want to protect private property because apparently they think that people coming around begging for food makes or begging for anything, makes the businesses look bad, and people will stop coming to out to the squares, town squares and stuff. And so it was just kind of ridiculous. And it's like they won't even let you like hold like without an official permit. You can't even hold a soup kitchen or sit down and feed people, like in a setting of like an organized setting
yeah,
outside, like feed the homeless that way. It's like there's just been a lot of warfare, I guess you could say, against the against people that are disinherited, and it's not fair. I mean, and that's in the United States. I mean, I know there's all over the world there's this problem, and in a lot of places it's much worse as far
yeah,
as
yeah,
the malnutrition and the lack of food. I know a lot of people are, all over the world are having trouble getting food where they need where they're at. It's like not even being
Yeah.
able to get basic meals. Sometimes the insecurity is frightening for some people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like in third world countries, we see that it's very visible. We see that it's like
Hmm.
whenever you travel or you land, you kind of see it. It's there. It's everywhere, or it's at some pocket. They try to kind of also kind of indirectly get you out of these pockets. But in developed countries, or it's more dangerous because here the living cost of living is also very high, and
Hmm.
for people who couldn't manage to really get a good livelihood, they can quickly slip into this problem. And although it looks like, oh, it's a developed nation, so nobody's really suffering from hunger here, but
Hmm.
like that's even more dangerous, I think, which is not visible. Once you land in a in a developed nation, you see all these big buildings shining like roads and the lightings, but there the hunger is somewhere hidden, and for those people it's tremendous difficult because not they're earning, not the state is helping them, and they cannot also beg because begging is not a tradition in such developed countries, and they can quickly fall into this kind of poverty, and also starts to starve and all. So I think although it's not visible in developed nations, but it's more dangerous for people who really fall into such kind of situation. As you mentioned,
Hmm.
if the state says no, we just give up at this point, we cannot help more. Then what should those people really do who have really lost the ability to work and are also physically disabled, psychologically also? Suddenly, if the state doesn't kind of support them, they can quickly fall into this situation. So
And I think the pandemic has worsened a lot of this. Is people they're unemployed.
yeah,
There's so many
yeah, yes,
problems that have been. I wrote about this for a Borderless Journal some time ago. Pandemic Packs Aside was my essay. If anybody wants to look that up, about some of the other alternative problems that are not being addressed, like everything from domestic violence to suicide, drug addictions are on the high
yes,
or higher up, like just general misery because people were not able to be productive and do anything, and they're sitting at
yeah,
home
yeah,
or they're sitting on the streets and there's just nothing, no work, and that was I think that's going to improve a little bit gradually, but I think we've been hit pretty hard by the pandemic as far
yes,
as
yes.
basic life issues. I mean, some of us have been lucky and been maintained a pretty good status, but a lot of people haven't been so fortunate.
It depends upon the work culture where you are in. Actually, for you and me, might be we fall into this very less percentage of categories, like say 2% or 3% of the global populations, where we can really go along with this digital transformation. But I'm pretty much sure there's a huge chunk of people who don't really come clear with this digital transformation. So they don't know how to use a PC, they don't know how to use the internet with
Hmm.
mobiles and all, and they have been always working like face to face, talking with people. They need the social associations for such kind of people, and uh, uh, it's very unfortunate that those people really cannot really cope up with this huge change which has happened.
Hmm.
Nowadays, we are almost everywhere virtually present, and in our like working environment, it is completely doable. But for those people, let's say, who are really traveling or driving a tram or driving a bus, or people like that, just a small example, but there are plenty of other professions where people need the social associations and they cannot get. And like for example, art and culture, for people who are really singing on a stage, or people who are really performing, playing guitar or piano on a stage, they need audience.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
to what extent they can do everything live shows and also, they are really I mean really hard, they're really hit by this pandemic, and they're somehow going along, but still I think those associations is really needed. And for example, for DJs, these disco jockeys, they need people, they need clubs for people to come and dance and mix with each other. These restaurants, these gastronomy areas where you need associations. So in cinema halls, we need people sitting next to each other and watching the movie. So they are really hit hard. I really wish this digital transformations can really bring us close, although we are physically apart, but mentally we are kind of tied with each other. And I think um, that's the big challenge which we need to see how everything electronically will really happen, and how we can educate those people. um, I mean, everybody is not of the same level of understanding that we have to accept. And for people who really cannot understand these digital transformations, how we can really train them, guide them, and come up to a level so that at least minimum things they can do and to get their livelihood and get along with this new global transformation which is happening.
We're going to take a brief break and we'll come right back with some of your work, especially the hunger essay that we have in the volume of the book.
Sure.
So, watching World Inkers Network, we're going to just take a look at this wonderful commercial break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Watching the New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Welcome back to World Inkers Network. I'm Dustin Pickering, and today we have Sankha Sen. He's going to read us some of his work from the Hunger Anthology as presented here. This book is available on Amazon for $8.99. If you want to take a look, guys out there watching right now, just take a look at this book. It's wonderful. The cover is beautiful. So, Sankha, go ahead and, if you want to read the piece or a part of the piece from this anthology, feel free. I'd love to hear it.
I'll just read like the last two stanzas of it.
Okay.
Hunger is man-made, and there are ways to eradicate it. When there is a will, there is a way. Why can't the world join hands in eradicating poverty? Why shouldn't resources be made accessible to all? It is not at all difficult to provide employment opportunities and guarantee a minimum livelihood to the poor. We as mankind have the social responsibility in eradicating poverty from this planet. People in need of protection should be identified and should be offered more protection. Globalization might just be the answer to develop and empower the poor nations and help the economy to grow. Especially care should be taken in helping women. A right to coexist and a right to maintain the ecological balance on this planet is what Mother Nature expects from us. Hurdles would appear, for the human intelligence should be capable enough to understand its privileges and take the most benefit out of it. Prioritizing the risks which are knocking the doors of human existence should be dealt with highest attention. Short steps, but positive steps, could help mankind to secure the footsteps of the next generation, whose seeds are sown on the hopes and aspirations of millions of living and not living souls. Considering the world to be a restaurant where we order different menus of human welfare, but when the waiter serves hunger on a dish, it might just kill the appetite of a long-lasting human existence. It's still in our hands to change the menu card and change the cook and offer the customers with sufficient nourishment to live and let others live evermore on this beautiful blue paradise. Hunger served on a dish, social inequality be the reason for this. Nothing is lost yet, nothing is extinct yet. Social integration may bring us all closer. Hurdles will never be over. Unity in diversity can bind us all together to serve all a basic meal ever after. Thank you.
And thank you. That's excellent. Some points made there that are, I think, very true concerning economics and eradicating poverty. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for the piece. And that's in Hunger. This book is available on Amazon. That's $8.99, as I said earlier, and anybody can get a copy. And the money that the royalties we gather from this book go to helping hungry individuals, people in need, personal contacts of mine who are in need of food right now and facing some severe food insecurity issues. I plan to donate all the royalties to them. So I want to make sure everyone's aware of this. When you buy this book, you get a great piece of literature, an excellent volume with a beautiful cover, as well as helping some people out who are indefinitely in need right now. So would you like to read anything else for us, or
Yes, I would
another
just like
piece?
to read one more poem from this, by Pat Connor's Prisoner.
Okay.
It's page 31 of this book, Hunger Anthology. I have lost my voice. The only word I have ever felt beating in my heart, echoing through my mind, has been taken from me. The other prisoners hiss and whisper the words. The broken hearted cannot say out loud and leave me in solitary silence. But I know why. They don't understand the burden I am bound to carry and must keep hidden deep inside. This burden keeps me alive. It gives me passion and purpose, and is the only thing I have which is real. If this were trapped in my throat, found daylight at the tip of my tongue, I would sing and shout, laugh and cry, and my sentence would be complete. If I could see her again, make love to her slowly and gently, if I could say her name once more, then I would be free. That's a
Well,
beautiful poem. I like it
it is
by
a
Pat
beautiful poem.
Connors. Prisoner.
He's based in Canada. He's
Okay,
out there in Canada, so he's been on the show a couple of times. And so,
okay.
thanks, Pat, for your poem and for suggesting, and thank you for reading that, Sanka.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans in the future for your artistic endeavors and your plan? What do you have anything lined up? Any new events coming up or anything like that?
Yes, as I mentioned, now there are a couple of events happening from India and Australia, and also with you all in United States. And since I have been participated in this international as a Panorama International Literature Festival, they have been going on kind of awarding me with a lot of certificates. You must have seen my Facebook posts
Mm-hmm.
because of this participation. Because as you can see that I think they are telling that this is like no, there are a limited amount of participants who really get selected to provide their work here, and with God's grace and with all your inspirations, I was kind of selected there, and I could present my poetry there. And I think the YouTube link is also shared in my Facebook page.
Hmm.
And I feel kind of really honored and also humbled equally to be part of this prestigious show, and which is also kind of working with the objectives of United Nations, UNESCO,
Hmm.
and UNICEF. And this really kind of combines my vision of extending a humanitarian hand for the humanity, because like also I've been associated with small units in Germany where we can provide some aids to people in India, like for example, if they have been hit by a very hard tornado or storm, their houses are washed away. Like for example, if tsunami comes, they are really all the shores are washed out, and this corona has really made a lot of people poor, and they have lost their jobs. They because most of the people, they are not working in a secure environment. They are like working on a daily basis. Once they get money, they work on that. But those kind of people, they have not no future, no kind of plans for their futures. So we try to see how we can provide help to them.
Hmm.
And I wish, like through this book, Hunger, as you said, it's really a very noble cause. That this money will go to those people who really needs this money
Hmm.
urgently. I feel that my aspirations, my dream of helping those needy hands fulfilled, and I feel that that's one dream of mine is really complete. Yeah.
Excellent. I think it's wonderful that you were involved in the book, and I was really pleased to bring it out. And you know, there's just so much suffering in the world, but there's also positive. I mean, we have the arts, we have the
Yes.
humanities out there presenting beauty to the world and giving new meaning. I think that I'm looking forward to seeing the sort of not too distant future where some of this recovery happens and we see that people were able to get back on their feet and get
Yes.
into a better mode of being and hopefully see a world that's much less gray than it is today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So,
yeah.
but I also see that if you're in pain and misery, let's say you can go to a doctor, you can get a medicine, but there's
Hmm.
no medicine for your mind.
Right.
So you can be totally fit, unhealthy, but still you are sick in mind, and that exactly I really try to kind of put my hands into and say that okay, if I can bring some pleasure, some happiness, some peace in people's mind through my literary work, through my music, I think then I'm playing a vital role equally as a medical doctor
Hmm.
in giving him psychological support and telling that okay, maybe you are sad today, but don't worry. Read these poems, read these books, hear this music,
Hmm.
and forget everything and fulfill your mind with positivity. There's always something to look for. Like life is a beautiful gift of God, and
Hmm.
try to move forward. Have this positivity alive in you, and then I think he will have a totally different attitude for himself, I think. And this has really helped me, and this is also I think is helping huge amount of people. Why this art and culture and music is really till now it is like one of the biggest attractive areas for people, because let's say uh, we try to uh, like live in our present day. Okay, there's past, there's future, but we want to make our present time entertaining. That's why I think wherever you go, I mean, if you really go into the corporate world, I mean, the more you grow in your corporate ladder, it all comes down to your creativity, because uh, let's say you do a presentation in your work, right? And if you're a manager, you're presenting something to a mass, or to your senior managers, your presentation slides, the more attractive it is, the more audiences it catches, because you can put a lot of data in your presentation, but if you mix your presentation slides with art and make it more attractive to people, really catch up your idea. Like I've seen a lot of TED talks and a lot of presentations happening. The moment you make your work catchy and get people's attention, and how you can make it, because if you mix art with your work, it becomes definitely attractive. And I think at highest level, to every profession, there is a creativity required, and the more creative you are, I mean, if I talk like financially, you can earn even more compared to a person who is less creative. I mean, you can be equally qualified, you can be educated, you can be highly experienced, but if you have this talent of creativity inside you, you will really have a better edge over the others. I think.
I definitely agree with that. So we have remaining about 4 minutes or so. I was just wondering, what would you like to say in conclusion of the program to our viewers today?
I'd like to say that stay with us with our World Inkers Network. Read our books. I mean, within a short span, we have got these beautiful books like the Literary Parrot #2 and the Literary Parrot #1, and also this Hunger anthology. Get hold of these books; those are available in Amazon, and read those books. And I think fill yourself with the pleasure and peace, and understand the different poems. And I think this will provide a lot of happiness. And still, I'm also putting my work, personal work, also here in collection of feelings. This is a book, like a trilingual book, having literary works in English and Bengali and German language. And this is like my first book, which is also a bilingual book, having works in English and Bengali language. Get hold of these books, and I also keep on sharing music also in Facebook and also in World Inkers Network. Listen to the music, be happy, and don't worry about your future. Things will be good. Be positive, and I think everything will be fine.
So would you like to say hello or give any shout outs or say thank you to any friends, family, fans, supporters?
Yeah, I would like to thank my relatives staying in the United States, and I want to also thank my relatives in India, and also my friends and colleagues in Germany and elsewhere, my fans in Australia and in Bangladesh, and also my colleagues in Japan and Switzerland. All of you, be happy, take care of your lives, and we hope to catch with you very soon. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sankha, for being on the show today. And we had an excellent talk about the Hunger Anthology. If you guys want to donate some money to this wonderful endeavor of World Inkers Network, we have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/nyparrot. paypal.me/nyparrot. If you want to be a guest on the show, we'd love to have you. So please be in contact with me, Dustin Pickering, at Literary Corner at NewYorkParrot.com. Send a bio in the paragraph form in third person and a headshot, and we'll get you scheduled on a day that we feel that you and I can be comfortable with, that we'll work with your schedule, in other words. So we'll be more than happy to work around any time zone issues or any personal conflicts you have in your scheduling. We'll work around that. So don't be afraid to contact me, Dustin Pickering, at Literary Corner at NewYorkParrot.com. We're also preparing the Series 3 anthology pretty soon here, and I also want to announce March 20th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. There will be an excellent poetry panel on poetry and healing with some Gambian poets, as well as some American and Indian poets. Several people were invited. We have 4 people, including Wang Ping and Suchasmita Ghoshal, ZM Wise. Many others will be invited to read and feature at this event. So that'll be on March 20th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys want to put that on your calendars, we'd love to see you there. to view this program. It'll be an excellent talk, an excellent discussion. So please feel free to be invited to this program. And again, just thank you. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. And remember that we want to hear from you, and we would love to have you as a subscriber to our channel. So thank you very much for viewing. And if you're lacking inspiration today, just remember, all you got to do is sit down and get to writing. World Inkers Monthly Magazine is a fine source for your literary interests. It's an all-source magazine with poetry, prose, and essays and articles, as well as interviews. It's all full-color art and photography from a variety of voices and artists. You will find this magazine entertaining. This is an all-purpose readership, and we are looking for new voices. This sleek, full-color edition of World Inkers Monthly Magazine will be something pleasant for your eyes as well as for your mind. And we're looking for authors for one book promotion in the magazine. If you're a business, we want to promote your business. You may submit your book reviews, your academic or non-academic articles on the humanities and the arts, as well as your literary writing and creative output.